Whenever there's an emergency, all you do is show your identification to the person at the window, and they will let you get on the train. So I was able to go through that. I learned that information, and I got on the train barefoot, the nasty, dirty inner city train, barefoot, mind you. My family did this to me. My aunt did this to me. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. So I go down to my area where I lived, because I lived in Center City. I had a job, all of those things that I was currently in that process losing, because I was falling apart at the seams mentally. So I went down to my area, and I tried to go to the one hospital, but they wouldn't admit me until the following day. So I went to my aunt's job, not even knowing what she had done, basically, still knowing that she had deserted me. But I showed up at her job, and she took me from her job to the hospital, still not knowing what she had done. I didn't know. I was none the wiser. I thought she was helping me. But my family has a tendency, be careful. I don't know if your families are like this. My family has a tendency to show up to help, but it's not really help. It's to take advantage of you. It's to get what they can from you. Silence of the Lambs. Anthony Hopkins said in the movie, the fox hears the rabbit scream, and comes a-running, but not to help. That's my family. So I go to the hospital. She brings me in. I sign myself in. I have an evaluation. I pee into a cup. I'm thinking nothing of it. And then they admit me. She leaves. They admit me into the hospital in my area, which was a more upscale, affluent area. I wasn't staying in the ghetto. Sorry, y'all. Y'all like the ghetto. That's okay. If y'all like the ghetto in y'all hood, be hood all your life. I don't care. It wasn't for me. So I turned around and I went to this hospital, and immediately they started taking care of me. Immediately, medication. Immediately, talking to the psychiatrist and things like that. So I do the whole stay, because I didn't get 302'd. I do the whole stay because it was voluntary. I was ready. I was tired. I had started to make headway on YouTube as a singing sensation. So I was like, listen, I got to get myself together and get back to work quick, because I've never had this kind of exposure before, and I don't want to lose it. So what can we do? Get me together. What's going on? So it ended up taking a few months. And after I got out of the hospital, I didn't have a place to stay anymore. This is painful, but this is my life. It didn't end there. So I was staying over at another home in another part of the city, because my aunt, my other aunt, has always been in my corner. My other aunt has always had my back. My other aunt, we've never really argued. We argued one time, and it was over my brother, because he was schizophrenic and we didn't know, but he was laying around and sleeping 18 hours a day. And she's like, listen, you and I go to work all day. He is sleeping 18 hours a day, which she didn't mind, but he's not cleaning up his dishes and taking care of the house. It's just trash and stuff everywhere. And she had a problem with that. And I knew something was wrong with him, but I didn't know what it was. But me and her argued, and him and I had to go live in my uncle. At this time, he's gone now. His apartment, he's gone now. HIV complications. He died at 40 in 2006. So he's gone, and he was a good uncle. And so was this aunt. So turn around, and I was staying at her house, but it was so far out of the way, and my biological mother was there. I did not have a relationship growing up with my biological mother, especially in the house, and she is as crazy as a bedbug herself, collects a disability check herself, and my crazy, mentally unstable sister was there as well. So both of them in the house was crazy, which was triggering me even more. So I asked my aunt for car fare. And when I got to a place, and some of you know this about, these mental illnesses, when I got to a place where I could finally walk out in the public and not be afraid, and ride a bus and not feel claustrophobic and afraid, I got on a bus and I came to my grandmother's house. Now, when I first came, I was coming to my other aunt's house, the one who took me to the hospital and had drugged me, and I didn't know. So I was coming to her because she had a spare room. The room I've been living in for the last 16 years, mind you. God is good. She denied me. No, you can't stay here. So like I said, with all the disrespect that happened between my grandmother and my uncle and us moving into this townhome, I got the room she denied me, and I've been in that room in a queen size bed for 16 years. Now I've got a lot of jewelry, I've got a lot of dresses, I got a lot of wigs. I got to move out of here now because I don't have a lot of space. But I'm moving on out of here, and so is my grandmother, and we're moving out together because her and our relationship has strengthened, and we now understand the stress of the situation. So watch this. So I come, she says, I can't stay there. Something tells me, go around the corner to your grandmother's house. I'll never forget it was raining. So it was raining, and I walked around to my grandmother's house, knocked on her door. She saw me when she opened the door and she said, boy, get in here. From that moment till this, 16 years later, I've been with my grandmother, despite my family, my uncle, my aunt, because that's really who it was, making fun of me, talking about me, mad that she was helping me, mad that she was using her money that they wanted to use for themselves, mad that she was using her money on me. Now, peep this. She gets me a lawyer. It's time for me to go for my hearing to get my SSI. Everything is going well. Everything has been accepted. I'm about to get the $800 $800 that I was entitled to because of this mental illness. I had over a decade of paperwork surrounding this illness. So there was no reason that I shouldn't have been awarded my SSI, and my lawyer told me this. You don't even have to say anything in this courtroom because this is an open and shut case. You're going to get this. We have plenty of documentation in this country and out of this country. She was so thorough. A Jewish lady. Thank you to her. She was so thorough. I was a shoo-in to get what I was entitled to. Finally, a way to support myself. It might not have been a lot, but $800 a month was better than no dollars a month. How about that? So I get in the courtroom with my lawyer, and the judge starts speaking. The judge stands up and begins to curse me the fuck out in front of my lawyer. My grandmother wasn't allowed in the courtroom at that point. She was outside. She didn't hear what was going on. The judge cursed me the fuck out and told me I was a drug addict and that he would never award me a check to help myself because he wasn't about to give another drug addict, a permanent, because when you get your benefits, they're permanent, a permanent way to get high. I didn't know what he was talking about. That's when I found out that the urine test that I had given in the hospital to be admitted was full of barbiturates, volume. So they thought I was a pill popper, and my aunt had did that to me, and I lost my Social Security benefits because of her actions. Now, mind you, they've been talking about me like a dog. Oh, he need to get a job. He living off of mom. Oh, she using up all her money on him. They've been saying all these mean things about me to other people for 16 years. Little did they remember or think that I would remember, and I didn't until recently, that it was because of her, my aunt, putting the drugs in my orange juice that I lost my SSI. Now look at this.